Good morning, stamping friends. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey. I'm Jenny Harrell, and I am a independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. I haven't said that for a while, so I thought I'd pop that in there. Making sure all my screen is showing. So, as an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, we sell stamping supplies, crafting supplies, scrapbooking supplies. If you haven't checked out our catalog, then you need to do that. I would really appreciate it if you would take the time to subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and my newsletter if you are interested in that. So I need to move my camera just a tiny bit because I see that I have a shadow on the right hand side, so let's see if I can't fix that. That looks a little better. I need to learn to do that without my hand in the camera. Did you know that we're having a sale that starts tomorrow? And Stampin' Up! Used to do a Black Friday sale that was 2 or 3 weeks around, 2 or 3 days around Thanksgiving, and everybody was so busy with Thanksgiving and trying to cook that they decided to give us a seasonal sale, which I'm really glad for because this week I have time to shop and enjoy browsing. I have scribbled on this, so don't pay attention to my scribbling on the flyer. So I have will be posted on my page in a few minutes. I think I scheduled it. It's a long document. And it's just a lot of words. But all our cardstock is 10% off. Now some of this cardstock is on low inventory, so if there's a color that you're interested in, you're going to want to get that. The ink pads are 15% off. It can't be a bundle. It has to be individual ink pads. And it can't be Memento or Memento Black or Memento White, stays on white. I think we still sell that. Some of the ink pads are on low inventory, so you want to make sure you look at that. And 20% off of a selection of dies from the annual catalog. Don't think it's every die in the annual catalog, but most of them. Now, a lot of them, you need the stamp set to use that die, but a lot you don't. Like the frames, the layering circles, the scalloped contours, the Stitch So Sweetly. There's so many fabulous dies that if you want to increase your stock of dies that would you'd use forever. I mean, you've always used Stitch So Sweetly and all those label dies. But today I'm going to try to convince you to order a picture of this dies. We've used these before, and I'll share with you at the end how we used them for other projects. We're going to make a new project today. We're going to use this one that is the rectangles, and I didn't notice this until today. The stitching on this is like a long, short, long, short. It really is kind of different. Whereas the stitching on this is just normal stitching all the way around. Or I don't know if that's normal, but traditional. We're used to stitching all around. So I like this one that's a little different. So I'll put that to the side so we don't need that. This weekend, Friday and Saturday, demonstrators had their virtual convention. And one of the things they did was they put the sample on the screen while they were working. And we all kind of thought that was different and maybe helpful. So I'm going to try that today. And this is the card we're going to make. I'm going to make a tiny change on it because there's, because I can, but not much. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to find all my pieces is what I'm going to do. I have no idea where they are. I used pumpkin pie here, but I decided I would use rich raspberry today. And I don't know why I put all my pieces in a strange place, other than I can. I don't know. Well, I don't see my cinnamon cider piece. So apparently I've hidden it from myself. Here it is, right on my cutting board. I just think that might be a little brighter. But I'm wondering, I think I'll cut this down a little bit so I can see more of the rich raspberry. This is the way I craft. I lose things, don't you? I change my mind how I'm going to do something. But I think we all do that, especially when we've made one card we're happy with, but then we think, well, we could improve it just a tiny bit. So that's what we'll do with this one. Now we should be able to see, oh, I like that. I can see more of the rich raspberry. Now we're going to die cut our frame, our picture this frames. I'm going to put this in the cut and emboss machine. I'm going to give you some helpful hints on how to make this a little easier to put together once you decide your colors and your frame. Oh, thank you, Kay. Thanks for joining me today. I always appreciate you attending class. Another cool thing is you get these pieces that you can use later. And the circles you can use later, or they can be the backing on a sentiment, or I've seen them used on the card. So, kind of different. Now we'll put this die to the side. And this is what we're going to do that's a tiny bit different. We're going, well, let's go ahead and put this on our card base. This is 5 1/2 by 8. And scored at 4 1/4. We'll give it a nice crease. And we'll just go ahead and put this on our card base. Now, here's the little trick I'm going to share with you. First of all, this Beauty of the Earth paper is my favorite out of this piece is my favorite out of the whole pack. And this is all I have left, this, which is sad because then I won't have any more, but it's just my favorite. So I want to put this behind here. So I'm going to just mark it with the pencil. And I'll probably need to trim that down just a tiny bit. And then I want this one to go behind here. I might have enough left to make one more card. And I needed just a few more Thanksgiving cards. And I also need my sentiment, and it's going to just be on basic white. So I will put that right about there. Now you could use any sentiment that fits in here. And what's cool, I found out this morning, this also fits right over there. So if you want to just use a pop-up sentiment, this is from Seasonal Dies. And I'll show you how I use this one later. So I want this. Can you see how this part is raised? And I want it up on with dimensionals, and I want this flat on the card. Well, I'm not talented enough to do this. I don't think I am. So I'm going to show you a way to work around that. We're going to go ahead and put dimensionals down here. Actually, we'll use a dimensional sheet. I think I need to open a new pack. I remembered to use these today. I love these foam sheets, but mercy, I forget them. So I'm just going to cut a skinny piece. But once I remembered to put this near my desk, then I remembered to use it more. I should have cut these strips on my paper trimmer earlier, but I forgot. I think that'll work. That's kind of crooked, but it's okay. Just so long as it doesn't. Now we can put one here and here. I'm going to do a little something different at the top and the bottom, though. Now I'll put my card back over here so you can be watching how we do this. I'm going to cut these in half. And just actually more like a half and a quarter. This will make sense. As to why I'm doing that. And your whoever gets this card, I don't think they will sit and look at those dimensionals. I hope not. Unless they're a card maker and they want to see how you did it. They, you know, I have friends that say, I took your card apart so that I could see how you did it. Now we're going to use these little pieces that we chopped off. We'll put them right there. this is going to go here. We're not going to pull the layer off on this side. We're only going to do the layer on this, the long one, and this one. We're going to leave, and this one. We're going to leave the cover on this. And we'll carefully line that up. Now do you see what I'm going to do? I'm going to slide this in here. I need to see, I'm going to have to cut that off some more. It's just like, oh, I can do that. We'll put Tombow on this. Good morning, Sandy and Pamela, how are you today? And we'll slide that in there. The Tombow is a little forgiving for us. Now we're going to do the same with this one. I think I can trim just a tiny bit off here. A little bit of paper surgery. Still needs a little bit. Okay, now we need our sentiment, and I used the word thankful, and this is from the time of giving. I'm going to share with you later this week another card made with this really different set. It's very simple, but different. You'll like it. So, using rich raspberry again, and I'm going to stamp over to the right hand side because my leaves are going to be there. I want to leave some room so that my leaves don't cover up the word too much. That looks pretty good. Now let's see if we can slide that in there. We might have to do a little trimming. Oh, I think it's just about perfect. And this was just what was on my desk. You never know. Now I've been thinking, I haven't made a card like with this, but could you use the whimsy trees and put Christmas here, and it would be pink and some little Christmas trees. Instead of the leaves, you could put Christmas trees. It could be really different. All right, now all we have to do is pull the protective piece off of the strips that we didn't pull them off before. Just be careful not to crease your frame. Now, wasn't that was so much easier than trying to guess where to put that on your card. Now, I had a couple of these glittery leaves left over. They're another thing that's disappeared off my desk here. What do you think? Oh, here they are. This is some of that bedazzling paper, but if you didn't have that, you could use gold foil, copper foil. But I had these left over from another project, so I thought definitely I would not let them go to waste. We'll put that on first with some glue dots. So I can make one more with my last little bit of leaf paper. Don't have any idea why I just thought the colors on this paper were so stunning. And everybody loves fall leaves as long as they don't have to rake them. These glue dots should hold this, but I am going to put a dab of Tombow just to make sure, because it'll be behind the other leaves. Don't want my card to fall apart. Tombow is pretty sturdy glue. Green glue. Green bottle glue. I really am much happier with the rich raspberry. The pumpkin pie is fine, but I like the rich raspberry. We need 2 leaves. This is from the Gorgeous Leaves set. I'm going to use this one and this one, but you could use any that you wanted. And I'm going to stamp one with rich raspberry and one with bumblebee. This, and then we have dies that will cut these out. We can do both at the same time. I was not going to get these because I thought I had a lot of leaves, and I do, but this die sold me. That lacy, all of those. I have used them a lot. So we'll use our little handy tape to hold those down in place. And our card is just about finished. Put that in back in its spot. If I don't put it back where it belongs, I lose it. I can even lose it then. You can tell. Now we'll just layer these on here. And I think Tombow is going to stick better on that dazzling paper. It's kind of rough. I believe the Bedazzling was the most popular item from the celebration. And I can see why, because it sure is pretty. I hope our new celebration has some pretty stuff like this. We'll put the raspberry on there. And we need a fluffy bow. We're going to use the linen thread. It's rich raspberry, Nancy. Yeah, I like the rich raspberry too. I think Blackberry Bliss would have looked pretty. We can try that on the next one. If I have enough for one more card. Each time we do this, see, I've angled my flowers a little different, but that's okay because it depends on your sentiment. See, I didn't save enough room over here. I did better on this one. And we'll put our bow on with some glue dots. Since it's a nice fluffy bow, I can really put quite a few dots to hold it in place. These little dot covers are all over my house. And we'll fluff our bow up. Our little tails. Then we need an inside sentiment. I struggled with Thanksgiving sentiments this year, but I did find this one in Word Wishes, A Wish for Everything. Giving thanks for you with a very grateful heart. So we'll stamp that on the inside. I think that's a good Thanksgiving sentiment. Let's make sure it's straight. And I think we need some leaves down here, so we'll just stamp our leaves again. Stamp with the yellow first, so I know where to position it. Bumblebee. Ooh, we could put that on the envelope too. And then we'll put a rich raspberry. I hope that'll look okay. Yeah, it does. Now we'll put our all our little stuff. We can move out of the way. And I'll share some other cards I made. But this is the one we made today with the gorgeous leaves. and the Beauty of the Earth paper. I really like the way this one came out. I had thought about embossing this with an embossing folder, but when things are this thin, you run them through the embossing folder, it gets kind of weak. It weakens, you know, breaks the fiber in the paper. So just leave. Now, we could have stamped some texture on there if we wanted, but simple is, you know, I like simple. So this is a simple one, and I thought it was really pretty. Now, we've got this in the Beauty of the Earth paper. When I was putting it back on my shelf, I thought I saw this. Look, you could use this and make a card. Could be get well. It could almost be Christmas if you put some red with it, even though those aren't pine trees. But look at that piece of paper that I couldn't throw away. I could do that and that and that. It would work. I've seen, when I was looking on Pinterest, the What's Cooking set. They had a pot, the rolling pin, and something else here. And then it said What's Cooking. I thought that was a really cute idea. All right, so let's see. You've seen this one because I think we made it on Facebook. It was Halloween, and it's with the circle. And this is not it's not popped up. It's all flat. I made a Christmas one with the circles, with the penguins, but I can't find it, so I must have sent it to somebody as a sample, or heaven only knows. So that's a circle one. Here's another circle one. This is Out of This World. You're Out of This World. And it has dies that the wheel turns and these little astronauts turn. I didn't buy those dies. I just thought these little guys were cute enough. But then I put them in the circle die, and I like it. You can see behind them, I used a piece of the In Color Designer Series paper. It has some little polka dots on it, just so, because I didn't want white showing behind them. Here's their little dog with he's got a bubble on his head, so I covered it with Wink of Stella, and I added a little Wink of Stella on the rocket ship. There's no one like you in the whole universe. Have a stellar birthday. And this is going to go to my great nephew. I think he'll like that. Came out cute. And then last but not least, another with the rectangles. And this is the Wild Cats. I just used the Designer Series paper behind here, but then I stamped some of the elements from the set and put, remember I showed you that label. And I did put a piece of this behind there because you can kind of see, do you see what you can kind of see that? You can kind of see it's on here crooked, but it's okay. I did put that behind it just because you could kind of see behind the label, and I didn't want just the Cajun Craze to show. I love this one. Just anybody can have a wild birthday. They don't have to be a kid. It doesn't have to be. This would be great for masculine, but it doesn't have to be. I put a little bling on there so somebody else would like it. So now I can save this extra piece to put on the inside. So here's our cards using Picture This. I hope you enjoyed them. I enjoyed making every single one of them. Thanks for popping in with me today, and I will see you Wednesday. Grace Kelly is going to join us on Wednesday, the movie star, just in case you're interested. So see you Wednesday for Wacky Wednesday. Bye.